History is not a silent record of the past. It is alive, contested, and constantly reshaped. In America, the question of how history should be told has always been political. But today, it feels like a war fought in classrooms, school boards, and even on the nightly news. Every generation decides which stories deserve a place in textbooks and which stories fade into the margins. And in those choices lies the struggle for identity. In the 19th century, school children in the North and South learned radically different versions of the Civil War. In one set of books, Abraham Lincoln was a liberator, the Union the savior of democracy. In another, Lincoln was a tyrant, and the Confederacy fought nobly for states' rights. Neither side offered the full truth, but both shaped the minds of young Americans who carried those lessons into adulthood. The very meaning of freedom and justice depended on what they were taught at school. By the early 20th century, a different battle emerged. Millions of immigrant children poured into American classrooms. Instead of hearing the stories of their homelands, they were taught a narrow version of patriotism that erased cultural differences. Indigenous peoples, African Americans, and women often appeared in only a sentence or two, if at all. What was left out of the narrative told them clearly who was considered central to the nation's story and who was not. Today, the struggle has returned with new urgency. Across the country, debates over race, gender, and inclusion dominate education. Parents, teachers, and lawmakers argue over whether students should learn about slavery in raw detail, about the dispossession of Native peoples, about the contributions of women, immigrants, and LGBTQ+ Americans. Some argue that a fuller, more inclusive history creates empathy, equips young people to face complexity, and honors those long ignored. Others argue that these changes politicize classrooms, create division, and rewrite history to fit ideology. Both sides claim to protect truth, but their visions of truth differ profoundly. The heart of the conflict is not simply about facts. It is about identity. To teach a story is to declare that it matters. To omit it is to say it does not. When a curriculum includes certain voices and excludes others, it defines who belongs to the American narrative. That is why these debates strike so deeply at the nation's core. They are not only about the past, but about the present and the future, who we are and who we hope to become. The Erie Canal, the Civil War, the immigrant experience, the civil rights movement. These are not just historical events, they are symbols of how Americans have always fought over meaning. Today's curriculum debates are simply the newest chapter in that long struggle. In every generation, history is not only remembered, it is chosen. And the question remains as urgent as ever. Who owns history, and who gets to decide the story of America?